Hello everyone, this is Jason Gong. I'm a PG student at Department of Communication at UC Davis, and I work with Rachel Husky in Cognitive Communication Science Lab. And today I'm going to introduce this project, and this project is about computational modeling of sequential media choices. So first, the existing media selection series usually consider people's media choice is determined by an interaction between the media features and the user features, which includes individual differences and the mental states. For example, mood management theory specifies that people's preference on media is determined by the affective features such as valence and arousal of the media content, and the user features, which is the mood state. However, I would ask you to take out your cell phone and open your most visited applications for media consumption. For example, you might open YouTube or Spotify. And if you click the history and find out your recorded media selection histories, you will find out your selection behavior is a sequence of choices. What does it mean? It means that there exists choice variation across time because you choose the choice, you made a media choice at different time differently. So we find out the existing media selection series usually considers the media selection in a simplified snapshot decision-making scenario, so it is unable to explain the time variation across time. Today, we are going to introduce the sequential media selection theory, which consider the media choice are sequentially ordered because people made those media choice one by one, and those choices are sequentially dependent because people's future media choice will depend on their previous media selections, depends on their previous experiences. And sequential media selection theory studies the sequential dependencies and explains the choice variation across time. So what does it mean by the sequential dependencies? So let's consider that you listen to music, and here is a sequence of music consumption. You listen to choice 1 and then listen to choice 2 and listen to choice 3 and then 4. And your choice of 2 will depend on the choice of 1, and your choice 3 will depend on choice 2 and choice 1, and your choice 4 will depend on 3 to 1. So, however, this sequential dependencies is too complex for us to model this process, because if you consider this sequence becomes very long, then the sequential dependencies becomes too large and becomes almost untrackable. So here we introduce 4 types of sequential media selection series or models. They are Markov decision process, reinforcement learning, exploration versus expectation, and foraging. We won't go to the technical details today. I will just introduce the heuristics and the ideas underlying each of the model. The first model is the Markov chain model. Markov chain model simplifies the sequential dependencies by specifying your current media selection choice will only depend on your one previous media choice, and it quantifies the conditional transitioning probability between each of the choice options. For example, let's consider there are 3 movie options: crime movie, comedy movie, and action movie. In the Markov chain model will quantify, so what's the probability after you have watched a crime movie, what's the probability that you will watch an action movie, what's the probability you will watch a comedy movie, and what's the probability you will watch a crime movie again. A Markov decision process is a little bit more complex. It has several components. First, it specifies that people's choice will depend on people's mental state. And second, the mental state changes across time, depends on their previous mental state and their choice. And then after people have made a media choice and depends on their mental state, they will obtain a reward. And the people are reward maximizers, so people are trying to maximize the reward obtained across time. For example, a person might be first in a mental state of neutral, and then he would watch a crime movie, and then after that he becomes sad. Because he becomes sad, he obtained a negative reward, and then he would watch a comedy movie and becomes happy, and due to that he obtained a positive reward, and then this process continues. So this person's ultimate goal is to maximize the reward obtained. The next model is reinforcement learning model. Reinforcement learning model is different. It specifies that people's media choice will depends on their previous media experience, in a way that if they have choose a high rewarding media option, then they will try to reinforce this behavior. They will learn that this option is high rewarding, and then they will tend to choose this option again. And there are two types of learning. The first is direct learning, which means that people will only update the value, the estimation of the value of this one option. And functional learning means that people not only update this option but also update the similar option as well. The next model is expectation exploration model. Expectation exploration model specifies that people needs to take a balance between expectation and exploration. Expectation means that people tend to choose the option that they know that they are rewarding, so that they can maximize the reward. And exploration means that people tend to choose the option that they do not know, that they are unfamiliar, that are novel to them, so they can learn what's the underlying value associated with this option. Let's take an example. For example, I'm a fan of Ali Balish, and I listen to the albums from Ali Balish a lot. So I turn to exploitation, that I repetitively listen to the albums from Ali Balish. However, if there is a new release of an albums from Ali Balish, even though I am unfamiliar with these albums, that I don't know whether or not this albums is good, I would tend to choose this new albums because of my curiosity, and I want to know what's the value of this option. The foraging model specifies people need to deliberate between staying and leaving. Staying means that people needs to tends to choose similar options, and those options are clustered in a media patch. Leaving means that people might have the tendency to leave the current media patch and leave to these similar options. For example, a person might be a fan of pop music, and he would tend to listen to pop music repetitively, and after they have listened to pop music a lot of times, they will find out the pop music become more and more boring and less attractive, and then this person would tend to leave and listen to the similar music of different genres, such as pop, such as classical music or rock music. So for the discussion, here we illustrate that media choices are sequentially ordered and sequentially dependent, and we argue that the value-based decision-making framework can tackle the complexity of sequential dependencies. And today we introduce 4 types of sequential media selection series. They are Markov decision process, reinforcement learning mechanism, exploitation versus exploration, and a foraging model. And we suggest researchers to build formal models to predict and explain the empirical real-world or lab-collected media selection data. Thank you very much. If you would like to know more, follow us and visit the website or send us an email. Thank you.